created a video of Giodora, and it looked so cute when she realized the camera was rolling. So she stuck her nose forward, and I took a clip of that video. Giodora has a little lump on her nose, and it came from her muzzle rubbing on her. So I've pulled her muzzle off so that that lump can go down. But I just wanted to show you a little bit about why I think this is so cute, and it has a unique value to it as an artist. It's kind of funny because Giodora has a very long face, okay? And her nose tapers off. It doesn't get real big at the bottom like this, but with her nose pointing forward, it's giving it a little bit of an accent to her nose because of the perspective. Perspective, whatever is closer, makes it larger than it actually is. So her nostrils and her nose looks quite large here. So I'm going to draw it in this perspective. Her eyes and her forehead look smaller, but in actuality, Giodora does not have that large of nostrils. So you can see maybe in that video what I'm trying to tell you. So I'm just going to set this aside, and I'm going to sketch this. I'm going to put something under here so that hopefully you can see this. I'm using Vine charcoal. This is very, very little, and you can always break the Vine charcoal. And what I'm going to do is just start with the top of her head, and I'll just make a real light kind of a circle with it. And I know down at her muzzle, her nose is actually wider than where her eyeballs are. So her nose, the bottom part, actually comes out further than where her eyes are on her forehead. So that's going to kind of give it a funny little cartoon look to it. So let's make this, I was thinking about the circles, making that a little bit wider, and the top of her head and her ears. So I'll just start sketching. I'll probably get a little bit quiet here. Sketching out her ears. And Giodora actually does have very, very large ears for a horse, horse of any size. I think it's just something to do with the breed. She is a Hanoverian, and this is down the ridge down through the top of her head. I'm going to try to put in her eyes. If I get quiet, please forgive me. I just need to think a little bit. Often once I say that, I just work through it and I'm okay. So then here her nose is going to come down, and it is quite large here. This is the moment that she discovered herself on camera, and she was so inquisitive. Giodora is 5 years old. She'll be turning 6 late this summer. She was a late summer baby. She shares the same birthday as my grandson, or same birth month as my grandson. I'm not going to draw the bump on her nose there. It's something I wish wasn't there at all. And I might throw in a little bit of her shoulder. And let's see. Let's get, now I'm going to look at the dark areas, and I'm going to make them very dark. I have with me a tortillon. I might smudge a little bit. I don't know if I will or not. Spike in her hair. She is a true black. She's getting a little bit of brown highlights on her, and it's only because she's out in the sun sometimes. We've had a real strange summer. It hasn't been as hot as usual. I live in Western New York, and it's not hot here very often, but summers can be warm for what we are used to, and she's been able to be outside a lot more. So I'm putting in the eye as I see it, some reflections in there. Now right here is this neat little bone right here in her jaw. And putting in some of these marks. It's very dark here. It's hard to see the actual details. I'm going by what I do know about horses from being around them so much. I probably will smudge so I can make it a little quicker. What's great about the Vine charcoal tool is you can lay it on its side and you can go in and have at it. It's kind of curly though, so you might want to, if you're going to do that, you might want to snap it smaller like this and go in and hit it. So I'm just going to go in like that. Send it up her nose a little bit. Some on the side here. A little bit here. I want to get that other eye put in. And you want to kind of keep your eyes even unless their head is tilted and cocked. And still, you want to keep it even to the structure of the horse. I'll put a little more darkness in here, and she actually has some eyelashes. I think she's so beautiful. And the nostril. Now I may smudge a little bit just to make it go a little quicker. I'm going to shade this shoulder in real dark. And maybe I can even put in her front of her leg. You can see her body is not as little as it looks in this picture. It's just that it's further behind her head. And she's up against her feed box right here. Oh, now it's moving. Let's see. There. I'll get my tortillon. Tortillon is just it's a piece of paper that's been rolled into a very fine point. And you can go in and you can smudge. It's a more accurate way of smudging rather than using a Kleenex or your finger. You can get into the parts and blend a little better. Some people frown on smudging. I don't really care. I think whatever makes it look however you want it to look is all right with me. So charcoal can be dusty. It's like a chalk. What it actually is wood that has been burned, and I have actually gone and taken wood out of a burn pile when it was cooled, and charcoal, and have used it to draw with. So it's all it is. I'm going to go in and add the hair, go in and make the ears a little darker. I'm going quick here, trying to not bore you to tears, but just getting an idea of Geodora's head. And it's fun because of this perspective that's going on. That's what I was so endeared to, was looking at this perspective of Geodora. So curious about what was going on with the camera. So I just had to show you. And think about this when you're doing your art, that there's areas that are not as big or as small as they appear when you're drawing. And that's why it helps to measure. You can use your pencil or your tortillon, and you could say, okay, the nose is this wide, this wide. And then when you look at the image, it's, you can see that it's actually, I'm going to move this over so you can actually see. You can say the nose is this wide, measure from one side to the other, and then you can take it up and look up at the top of the head, and you'll see that the head is a little smaller towards the top. Another way is just simply draw a plumb line down, and you can see the nose is coming a little further out than the eyeballs. It's just a little. It's not tremendous. If you want to make it look more exaggerated, you can make it wider, more of a cartoon look, or even as if the horse was a little closer to the camera than it even was. Some camera lenses will make things look more distorted than they actually are. It depends on your camera lens. So let me go in and work the eye a little better. The eye is the window of the soul, and eyes are very important if you want to do anything, focus anything. I say the eyes, but I am a realist, so I guess in this case you could focus the nose. But because I'm a realist, I think I'm into eyes and making them look like the actual creature that they belong to. So now I'm going to make this a little darker here. So I'm just showing you a little different medium here. I've got to put this in. Often after I close out my video, I'll see something that's like, I should have done that, but I am trying so hard to just give you a little glimpse of what I love and what I want you to know, and I don't get everything right. Just trying to show a little of what I love, show my love to you, and it's often far from perfect. I want you to relax and enjoy and not be obsessed with everything being so right. Just get out and do it. Today I almost didn't do this. I honestly didn't feel like it, and I have other ideas that I want to do, and we just finished a hard day of haying. We've had a hard time getting our hay in, and after we hay, I am so tired. I don't know what it is. I know I'm getting older. I understand that, but I also know that I'm getting tired, and I don't have a lot of energy after I hay. It just kind of shoots me. I don't know how else to say it. It just exhausts me. So you're kind of seeing a little bit of how I am after I'm done haying. I'm not at my best. I feel tired. So, but it's okay. Art always helps me to feel better. What I'm trying to do is make this look more symmetrical. I'm going to blend it around a little bit, have a little fun with that. The tortillon is a lot of fun. In college, my drawing professor, I don't know what was wrong with it, but they more than one didn't want anyone to use a smudging tool. No smudging, no smudging. Oh, that's all fine and good. But there's a time when smudging does help, and it gives it a smoother look. So smudge or not to smudge? That is the question. I don't care what the answer is. I think it's just however you feel, you know. Who cares? You're doing it for yourself. If someone else likes it, great. Sell it to them, give it to them, whatever. But who cares what anybody else thinks? I also use a kneaded eraser. These are a lot of fun. You can go in and clean up your work, or you could just take your charcoal and you could just make a bunch of smudges in the background. So I'm just choosing right now to go in and clean up my work. Also with this, I can go in and pull out some of the areas that I think could be lighter. So I see some areas that could go lighter, and it's fun. And if you get to a point where your eraser won't lift off anymore, stretch it. It's just like, feels like gum. It's called a gum eraser. And go in and just pull it out. Lift out the areas that you want to lighten. It's a lot of fun. So, at the risk of not going too long, you're kind of seeing in a nutshell how I drew Giadora's nosy little face as she's stretching in to see what was going on the in the stall. She was looking at herself in the camera. So I might sketch a little bit more on this after I shut it off. So goodbye from the art stable, and I'm just happy that you were able to watch this.